Are you able to see my screen? Hello? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I will start now. So go to start button. Then you have to go to Microsoft Visual Studio 6.0. Is it visible on the screen? Are you able to see my screen? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In Microsoft Visual Studio 6.0, you have to click Microsoft Visual Basic 6.0. If you have Visual Basic in your system, you can do the same parallelly when I am telling, so it will be useful for you. Now you can see an icon in the taskbar. Are you able to see the icon? Hello? I want an answer from one of
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
I'm showing an arrow mark. That is the icon of Visual Basic 6.0. Click on that. Click on that. Then you will get a screen with respect to new project. So standard exe has to be selected and click open. Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in the screen, you can see a working space, which is nothing but a grid. On the left hand side, you see the toolbox. On the right hand side, you see the project explorer. And below that, you see the property of the objects which are available in the workspace. So at present, your form is selected. How do you know that which object is selected? You see the squares on the four corners of your workspace. So whichever is selected will have that particular square boxes indicating that particular object is selected. So now what I should do is, with respect to this particular object, I have to name it and also give the caption. So in the property of form, in the name property, in the right hand side, the convention which we use for naming a form is FRM. Let us say I am using this particular form for my employee table which I have created in the backend. So I can name it as FRM EMPLOYEE. Let us say. So I am naming the form as FRM employee. Now let us see that I want to change the caption of the form. So I click on caption and I want to display on the caption of my form as employee details. So I will type that as employee details. So once I type the caption, you can see that in the workspace for the form where it was displaying as form 1, it is now displaying as employee details. Are you able to see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let us see how to use different objects from the toolbox. So let us say I will use labels and text box in my form. So for the label, you can see A here. As soon as you go to any of the object in the toolbox, you can see the name of that particular object. For example, this is the label, this is text box, this is frame, this is command button, and so on and so forth. So you can see which are the objects available in the toolbox. So let us say I want to put a label in my form. So I will just double click on A that particular label will appear in the form. So wherever I want it, I will place it in some location. Okay. Now, similar to what we did for form object, we do for label also. So I will go to name property of label, and the convention which I am going to use for label will be LBL. Let us say I have some attributes in employee which I have created. Let us see SQL first and then we will go further.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah,
Ma'am, some are waiting in the lobby.
waiting in the lobby. Okay, 1 second. Where I'm not able to see anyone. Yeah, now they are coming. Only one person I was able to see. Hello? All are in now? Hello? All of you are in? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The bicycle plus in it. Are you able to see my SQL screen?
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So my username is B1 and password is B1. So I have connected to that particular user. Yeah, it is connected now. I will show the tables which I have created. So this is my table having four attributes: fname, lname, dno, and ssn. And similarly, I have one more table called department. You can use your own tables which you have created. So department has three attributes: DNO, DNAME, and DLocation. So four attributes in employee, three attributes in department. So in my SQL, what I will do in my form, where I have placed a label, which is my first attribute, in employee table, F name. So I will name it as LBL name. Similarly, I will go to caption and type it as F name. Are you able to see? Are you able to see the name? Caption F name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, there is one more option called auto size. So here if you make it true, you can observe that whatever is the size of my label, automatically the label also will resize to that particular text. Okay, that is one more attribute of the property you can use in label. Now similarly, I will open one more label. Can you tell me the second attribute which is there in employee table which I have shown just now? I want an answer from your end. I want an interactive session.
Last
Which is the
name, ma'am.
second attribute?
Last name.
Huh?
Last
L name,
name.
correct.
L name.
So how should I name it? How should I name it? LBL, L name. Okay. And what should be my caption? L name. And what should be my auto size? True. So automatically it will resize the label in the workspace of the form. Again, I will put one more label. Can you tell me what is the name?
DNO.
What is the attribute you have seen? In SQL we have seen fname, lname, DNO, SSN, correct? So, DNO. So, what should be the name? LBL, DNO. Caption should be DNO. Auto size you can make it true, correct? Then again one more label. What is attribute name which I have given? SSN. So I will name it as LBL SSN, and then caption will be SSN, and then auto size will be true. Any doubt in label now? Yes
No,
or
ma'am.
no? Okay. Now similarly I will put one by one text box. So again double click, a text box will appear. Place the text box in front of a particular label. Again I will go to the option where name is there. The convention which I use for naming the text box will be TXTF name. And always remember, you have to remember this name because in code you have to make use of this name when you write a code. Okay. Now here there is no option called caption, but there is a property called text. You have to make this text property blank because the value has to be displayed in this text box. Similarly, I will use another text box, place it for L name, and again I will make this text blank because I have to display the value of the L name, and then I will go to name, and what should be the name? TXT L name. Okay? Yes or no? All of you are getting what I'm telling?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? All of you are there with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So F name is over, L name is over. So I can move little bit down with respect to other labels. Again, I will use one more text box. Place it in front of DNO. Again, what changes I should do? The name should be TXT DNO. And then my text attribute, I have to make it blank. Similarly, what I will do? I can resize any one of them, any number of length I can increase, whatever I want I can do in this grid. Again one more text box I will take, place in front of SSN. Now can you tell me what I should do? For the name
Name
property,
TXT
what I should write? I want an answer.
SSN.
TXT,
SSN.
TXT, SSN. And then text property, I should make it blank. Any doubt till this point of time?
No, ma'am.
No. Now, I have to make use of one interface to connect between the front end and back end. For that, I have to first create a data source name that is called as DSN. So what I will do in the search window, I will type as data source. So as soon as I type data source or data, you can see here ODBC data source tab. Are you able to see this? Hello? All of you are able to see
Yes,
this
ma'am.
ODBC data sources?
Yes, ma'am.
Open it. Now once you open, you can see here the list of user data sources. Okay. Now I want to add my own data source name in this window. So I will click on add button. Okay. Are you getting what I'm telling? I will click on add button. Then I have to choose which driver I am going to use. Can you tell me which is our backend? Which is our backend? Oracle? Hello. I want an answer from you. Our backend is using Oracle. So what I will do? Which one I should select? Microsoft ODBC for Oracle is the data source which I have to choose. So I will choose Microsoft ODBC for Oracle and click finish. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And slow. As soon as it will finish, it will ask you to give the name of the data source. So I can give any name for my data source. So let us say I name it as SumaDB. So that will be my database source name, which I will be using for the interface. One second. It's still working. So here you can see this window where it shows data source name and asking for the name. So let us say I am typing here as SumaDB. That is the name of the DSN I am creating. Okay. So can you see the name SumaDB here? Can you see here? Yes or no should be the answer. One of you please respond.
Yes, ma'am.
SumaDB is there and the driver which I am using for that interface is Microsoft ODBC for Oracle. Okay. Now click on OK. Okay. So your data source name has been created. Now I will go back to my Visual Basic. I am going to make use of an interface called Data Control. You can see here data when I am going to the particular object. So this is the data control. I will double click. It will appear in my screen. I can move a little bit down. I can increase, reduce, whatever I want. I can do it for my requirement in the workspace. Now I will let us say name this as, let us say DS is the data source. I am doing for employee. So let us say I am naming it as DSEMP, which I will be using in the code. Now I go to caption and I will type here with respect to employee. So I am typing as employee details because I am using this interface for displaying the employee details. Now what I should do is I have to go to the property called record source. There is a drop down arrow down here. Click on that. So before doing that, what it is telling, I have to connect. So I have to use the connect property. So I will go to connect property. And here I will not get the option for ODBC. So I have to type in capital letters as ODBC. Without connecting to ODBC, I will not be able to choose the record source. So once I name the data control, I will connect as ODBC. Now I will come to the property of record source. So in my record source, there is a drop down list. I will click on that. Go to machine data source tab. And what is the DSN name? Admit So I have to select my DSN which I have created, that is SumaDB, and then say OK. Once I do that, it will ask the username and password of my backend. So the username which we know is B1 and password also is B1. Okay. Then I will say OK. Understood what I did? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this will achieve the connection between my backend Oracle with respect to my front end, which is Visual Basic. Now click on the record source again with the drop down arrow. Here it will list the name of the table which I want to use. So I will type here B1 dot employee. Why B1? B1 is the user and the table name is employee. So definitely it will be listed here. So as well I can type it B1.employee, indicating that I want to make use of employee table from the user B1. Is this clear? Is this
Yes,
clear?
ma'am.
What is B1 indicating?
User.
Username. And employee is the table in the username B1. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, I have to bind this particular attributes of employee table to my text boxes. So, I'll click the first text box. I have to go to the property with respect to data source. So, the interface which I am using is the data source for my text box. What is the name I have given for the data source? DSEMP, if you remember. So, I will choose it. Okay. Then I go to data field and click on this down arrow. As I have selected employee table of B1, all the attributes of employee table will be listed here. I will choose F name for my first text box. Okay. Similarly, I will go for second one. Again, data source I will select as DSEMP. Then data field I will choose as L name. Similarly, for DNO, I will go to data source, select the data source DSEMP, which is the data control. Then data field I will make it as L name. Similarly, I go to SSN and go to data source, select DSEMP and the data field as SSN. Is this much clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we will save our project. So I will click on save. So you see a folder called VB98. So I am saving all my forms and all my objects in this particular folder only. Okay. So now it is asking whether you want to save this particular form with extension as FRM with FRM employee. Okay. I will say save. Now it will ask what name you want to give to the project. So let us say I will name this project as EMP details is the name of the project, and extension will be as .vbp, that is VB project. I will save it. So you can see here on the Project Explorer window, the name of the project is emp details.vbp, and the form under that project is FRM employee, which you are able to see here. Is this much clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let us run and see the output of this form. When I run the particular form, it will again ask for the data source name. I will choose machine data source. I have created a data source name called SumaDB, and then I will say OK. Again, it will ask for the username password of SQL. So I will type B1 and B1 as username password and click on OK. Are you able to see the first record as per SQL? I will show
Yes,
the
ma'am.
details. Okay, are you able to see Abhishek Singh 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 here? Yes or no?
Yes,
Huh?
ma'am.
You're going to see that, right? So now, if I want to see the next data, I will click on the right arrow. Next. If I want to see the first one, I will click on this. If I want to see the last record, I will click on this. This is how you can view your data from Frontend, which is available in the backend. Is this much clear?
Ma'am, can you show the last two steps again?
Can you be a little louder?
Ma'am, can you show the
Excuse me,
last two
ma'am.
steps
One
again?
second. One
After,
second. Tell me.
ma'am, after
Someone
you
is at the
show,
lobby, ma'am.
Huh?
Someone is at the lobby, ma'am.
Someone is available. Okay. Let me see.
ma'am, can you repeat the last two steps again?
One second. No one is there here. Hmm? Okay. No one is there to admit. Who is there? Hello? 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 Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the issue? What is the issue?
Ma'am, can you show the last two steps again, ma'am?
Hello? Is there any issue? Kavya?
No, ma'am.
Shall I continue then?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, is this particular thing, whatever I have explained, is clear?
Ma'am,
Can you show the
Aditi
last two
wanted
steps
you to.
again?
Huh?
Ma'am, last two steps again.
Last?
Two steps, ma'am, after you show
Hello?
that project one.
I'm not able to hear. Can you please tell me again?
Ma'am, can you do the last two steps again?
Last means running the project.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So to run the project, there is an arrow mark here, or you can go to run and run project. It is better to click on the start button. So then it will ask you for the data source name to be selected. So the data source name which I have created is SumaDB. I will select and then click on OK. And then it will ask for the username and password for the Oracle, which is B1 and B1. So I will type that and click OK. So the first record will be displayed here. If I want to see the next record, I will click on this right arrow button. If I want previous ones, I will click on the left button. Similarly, if I want to see the last record, I will click the last button. If I want the first record, I will click the first button. Is this clear?
ಹಲೋ
Excuse me,
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್,
ma'am.
ಡಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್.
Huh?
ಡಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ.
I'm not able to
ಲಾಸ್ಟ್
get you
ನೇಮ್
what you're telling. Huh?
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ನೇಮ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಡಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ನೇಮ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಎಲ್ ನೇಮ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ.
ಎಲ್ ನೇಮ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ನೋಡೋಣ, ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ. ವೇಟ್, ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಸಿ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್. We'll go to, have you checked it properly? We will see the text box. So that is with respect to the text box. So name is, we'll go to DNO, not DNO. See a data field which for DNO is not DNO selected, so it is giving that error. Yeah, so you are observing it properly. Thank you. So Suma DB, then B1, tab B1. Okay. And then L name, instead of L name, it should have been DNO. Save it. Now run it. Go to the machine data source, SumaDB, then OK. And again B1, B1. Okay. Now is it correct?
ಓಕೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
You are able to see all the data values correctly. So what was the problem? The binding of the text box related to the attribute in the backend should be done properly. If you don't do that, the value will not be appearing in that particular text box. Okay? Is it okay now?
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am.
Yeah. I'll stop run. So to end your project, you have to click on this blue box, which will end your project. Now we will see how to make use of the command buttons. Okay? So this is the command button. I'll double click one command button. Let us say I will place one here, another one to next to that. Similarly,
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes.
Ma'am, Gaurav is at the lobby, ma'am. He's saying that he's not able to join.
One second. One second.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Is he in now? Has he joined? Has he joined or not?
Yes, ma'am, joined.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I can also increase the size of my form as per the requirement. So I have included 4 command buttons below. Similarly, I will include 4 more commands on the right also. Alignment depends on you, how you want to design your form. It is purely left to your creativity, what you want. So I have placed 4 commands below and 4 command button to the right. Now let me tell you what all I want to do with these command buttons. Okay. Now let us say I want to use the operations which I have used here for the first, previous, next and last. So I want to use these command buttons for that. So I click on the first command button, and the convention which I will be using for the command button will be CMD first. I will be naming it as CMD first. Caption, I want to make it as first, and I want to underline the character F. For that, any character which has to be underlined, I will use ampersand symbol before that particular character. So let us say I want to underline F. So I will use ampersand, then type capital F and IRST. So can you see F is underlined? Hello? Can you see F is underlined?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Similarly, I will go to the second command button and caption I want as previous. So I will say ampersand capital P REVIOUS. So can you see underline for previous? P? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So you can either directly use the shortcut as Alt F, Alt P for using this command buttons. That is the usage of this underline. Now I click on name. I will name it as CMD previous. Okay. Is this clear? Hello. I want response from your end.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now I'll go to the third command button. The third command button will be CMD. Next. And caption I will be using as ampersand capital N E X T. So N will be underlined. Similarly, the fourth one is caption will be ampersand last, and then name will be CMD last. Correct? I will save my project. Similarly, I will come to remaining command buttons. Command 5. Let us say I will be using this for adding a new record. So I will say CMD add, and caption I will be using as again similar to what we have done for the previous one, ampersand ADD. If there is similar character in other command buttons, I can use some other letter to underline. Okay. Now I will go to next one. I want to use for updating or saving my data. So I will make use as ampersand update. And the name will be CMD update. Then I will be making use of delete. So CMD delete. If I want to delete any record. Caption I will be using ampersand delete. Similarly, I can go for caption as refresh. And CMD refresh. I will add one more command button here to exit. The name will be CMD exit, and caption will be ampersand exit. Understood how to put the command buttons? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you can design your own form wherever you want buttons, and how you design, how to color it, and all those options are available in the properties. In all the properties you have what you want as back color, how should be border style, all this is for your creativity. I am not going to talk about creative here. I am talking only with respect to technical display of the data values from the backend to frontend. Now I have to write the code for each command button so that the values are displayed in my text box without using my data control. Okay. So what I will be doing, let us say I want to write a command for first. So I will double click on this first. So you can see the command window with respect to code will be displayed. So CMD first is the command button, and click is the event which I am going to use. That is, when I click that command button, what should happen? What is the name of the value which you should see? Which is the interface? Data control. What is the name of the data control? DEMP, right? We have named it as DEMP, right? What is the name we have given? Data control EMP, DCEMP, right? Dot. Can you tell me what is the data control name we have given? Form. This is the data control. What is the name I have given? DSEMP, not DC or DE, right? So without that, it is not going to accept that value. So what I should use? Data source EMP I should use properly. So now if I want to make use as with respect to the data control only, let us say I name it as DC here. That will be easy for me to remember. That is data control EMP. So what I will do in this, I will type here as data control EMP dot, only when your name of your data control is correct, it will give you the list of options which are required. Now I will say R, I will choose record set, double click on that, dot. The property which you have to use to go to the first record is move first. Are you getting what I am telling? DCEMP is the name of the data control. From that data control, which is the interface between backend and frontend, you go to the record set, which are set of records available in the backend, and go to the first record of the database. That is the meaning of this. Is this clear? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Similarly, we will write for all of them. So let us go to CMD last. Can you tell me what you will write? Similar to what we wrote first.
DCEMP
dot select
Record.
record set dot move last. That's it. Is it not simple? Save it. Now similarly go for CMD previous. What we should write for CMD previous? DCEMP. Tell me. Dot record set dot move previous. Is it sufficient? Is it sufficient according to logic? Yes or no? I want an answer with respect to logic. Is it sufficient with respect to logic? No, because if I go on clicking previous, if it would have reached the first record, I should stop there and say that it is the first record, isn't it? Otherwise, I can go on clicking on the move previous, isn't it? So what I should do? I should use a if condition. If DCEMP dot record set dot B, that is beginning of file, that is the first record. Then if the selected value which you have clicked on move previous, if it is the first record, I should display a message. So message box, double quotes, first record. Correct? It will display first record. So once it display the message, I should display the first record. So I'll copy this, whatever is available. Okay? Are you getting what I'm telling? If it is reach the first file, first record, it has to display message and show me the first record. Else what I should do? It will should move to the previous. Still it has not reached the beginning, so it will be as it is. And end. Is this clear? Is this clear? This is our logic, right? Similarly, for my next CMD next, I have to write in a similar way. What will be the change? Can you tell me? I'll copy the same for my next. What changes I should do? Tell me. Instead of beginning of file, it should be end of file. That is, it has reached the last record, and instead of move previous, it will be which one? Move next. Correct? And if it has reached the last record, I should say last record. And the move first should become move last. Otherwise, regularly whatever is there, that will be move next. Is this clear? Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So similarly, we will write the code for add, update, delete, refresh, and exit. So let us go to one by one. So CMD add. This is for adding a new record. So again, DCEMP dot record set dot add new. Will add a new record. It will allow you to add a record. Along with that, I want to focus the cursor in the first text box. So what I will do is txt. What is the name of the first text box? Txt fname dot set focus. So automatically what will happen is a cursor will appear in the text box of fname. Is this clear? We will see when we run that particular code. Now I will go to CMD update. Update is for saving your record or modifying also. I will use update. So when I am updating, what I should write? Can you tell me? DCEMP dot record set dot update. This is for updating the record or saving the record. Okay. Next. Which is the next one? Delete. CMD delete. DCEMP dot record set. Will it be there? Because we are deleting only one record at a time. Sorry. So DC EMP dot, will record set come here? Dot delete. Okay. Then after delete we have refresh. CMD refresh. So here we will write DCEMP dot refresh. And the last one is exit. That is CMD exit. So DCEMP dot, what you will write? Tell me. You cannot write anything related to like this. So you have to just say, for exit, you say unload me. So that it will come out of the form which you are in at present. Okay. So this is the code you are supposed to write in the code window. Let us now see the working of this particular code. Go to run machine data source, SumaDB. Okay, it will ask username password. So B1 tab B1. Then okay. Okay, now what I am going to do? What I am going to check here? Hello? Is it working? What is happening here? End-if is not there, it is telling. So what I have done? After I am using an else part, end-if is not there. Correct? So what I am supposed to do? Go here and say end-if. Similarly for my previous also, there is no end-if. sorry, and if here end is here. Okay. Now I will go to machine data source, SumaDB. Okay. Then we will say B1, B1. Okay. Now I want to go to the next record. Block is without end loop. Okay. B1, B1 password. Is it displaying the first record? No. What is the problem? Can anybody tell me what is the problem? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me what is the problem here? Exit is coming out. What is the problem now? Why it is not working? Yes? Hello? Hello? Is there anything which we have to set with respect to data source? Are we supposed to do anything related to data source? Yes or no? I want an answer. Is there anything to be set? What are the properties we have set with respect to command button? Name we have set, and then caption we have set, isn't it? Is there anything? No, because we have written everything in terms of the code. So what it should do when it loads the form? Hello. What it is going to show? It has to show me the first record. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. So what are we supposed to have? Binding is there still with respect to my data source? Yes. I have a data source DS EMP. What is the mistake we have done now? Can you tell me?
And it should be
We have
DCEMP.
changed the name of the data source. So here also I need to choose DCMP. That's why it is not showing. Similarly for the remaining text boxes. So be sure that whatever name you change at any point of time, you have to bind with respect to that name itself for the data source of the text box. 1 second. Data source. Save it. Run it. Machine data source, SumaDB, okay. Then B1, okay. Are you able to see the record now? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
What was the
ma'am.
mistake there? We had changed the name of the data control. Earlier it was DSEMP and we had bind it with that value for the text box. So it is not working, isn't it? So when I have changed the name for data control, I as well at the text box binding I should change the drop down list and select the required new name which I have changed. Okay. So now let us say I will go to previous. It was the first record which was displaying. So it says first record. When I click OK on this message box, it will display the first record. That is what I have written in the code. Similarly, I will click on next, 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 next. No current record, it is telling. So there is a mistake here in the record. What is the mistake? Can anybody tell me what is the next record? In the next, what is the problem? Yes? If dcmp.recordset.end of file, then it is supposed to give me the message called last record, correct? And go to the last record, otherwise it has to move. Is it what the code we have written for CMD next? Yes or no? I want
Yes,
an
ma'am.
answer. Correct? So let us see what is the problem again, once again. So MariaDB, B1, then say OK. Then I'll say next record, second record, third record, fourth record. How many records are there in my database? Till Soumya Patil, right? This is the last record. So let us see here. So after this record, what it should do actually? It should have given me the message of last record and then show the last record. There is some problem with respect to the code. So let us see what is that. dcemp.recordset.move next. I will type it once again and let us see whether it works after that. Move next. If dcmp.recordset.end of file, then it has to give message box last record and then go to the last record and else it has to show the next one. Let me check once again. Let me check for first record. It is first previous. I will say OK. Then I will go to last. It is showing the last record. Is through the last record. I'll go to previous. It is giving the error with respect to previous. Next is correct. Okay. MariaDB, okay. B1, tab B1. Now, I will see the data recorded by SQL. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 records are there in my employee table. Okay. So let us see whether I am able to see all of them. The first record, second, third, fourth, only 3 records it is able to show me. Why? First record, previous record, it is showing correctly. Last record, it is showing this. Previous, no current record, it is telling. Okay. Let me check with respect to the code. 1 second. Just wait. Give me 2 minutes time. Let us see if mistake has been done. We'll rectify it. Add to, delete to, exit to, move first, move last, move next. Move previous, beginning of my first record, move first, else, move previous. Data one dot refresh. Data one dot update. Okay, all this is correct. So let us go back. Next. Update record, that's the only change we have to do. Now let us see. I will save whatever I have done. Then I will run data source. Okay. V1 tab V1. Then run record. DC, is the name correct? Whatever we have named is DCMP, right? Yes or no? Hello? Are you there in the class? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, then it should work. DCMP dot record set dot move next for the next command. If it is end of file, then message, then move last. It's absolutely correct. Similarly, for previous, it is working. It has to work for next also. Anyway, we'll check for the remaining, and then we go get back to this. B1 tab B1, and you say OK. Let us try to add a new record. So you can see that you have a cursor in the first name. Let us say I'm just naming it because which I will be deleting later. So ABC, DF, DNO I'm writing let us say 1, and SSN I'm writing let us say 9012345678, let us say, and then update. So I will check whether that new record has been updated in my SQL. I will check it. So select star from employee. So you can see that the new record which I entered has been displayed in my SQL. That is what I am going to check in the backend. Now again I will come back to Visual Basic. I will go to that record which I have created using next command. This is the last command which I have, and then I want to delete it. So when I click on delete, I will check whether that particular data has been deleted or not. So you can see that whichever we have added as A, B, C, D, F, it has been deleted in the backend. That is what you are supposed to check in the backend. So this is with respect to adding and saving your record and deleting a record. So once I delete a record, I should see that whatever I am deleting the record, it should go to the next record. So that modification I have to do in the code. That I will do it after. Now when I say refresh, it is going to go to the first record. Refreshing means going to the first record, and then exit means it will come out of the form. So one modification which I will do with respect to delete will be, what I should do is, once I delete, it has to go to the next record of that particular delete. So cmd delete, which I am using for deleting the command, after this I will say dc emp dot record set dot move next, because if I delete a particular record, it should go to the next record because I have deleted the particular record. This is how your command button works with respect to data control. Is this clear? Hello?
Yes,
I want
ma'am.
an answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So similarly, we will be using one more control called ADODC control. Okay. So I will just show you which control I am going to use, how to use it, and then I will only show you the code which you have to use in that particular form. So what you do is you have to add one more form. So to add another form, you go to project, add form, and then form is there, you say open. You can see that in the project explorer window, you can see one more form called form 1, new form. Okay. So now again, for that particular form, you name it as FRM ADODC, that is Active Data X Object Control. ActiveX Data Object Data Control is the ADODC. Now I want to name the caption of this again, where I will say employee, I want to, let us say, use department table here. So department details is the caption. So you can see the caption on the form. Now I am making use of a ADODC control. So for that, what I should do, go to project, go to components. In that you have to select Microsoft ADO Data Control, Microsoft ADO Data Control 6.0, that is OLEDB, and apply and close. As soon as you do that, you will get this ADODC. Earlier it was not there in the toolbox. It will appear in the toolbox. Double click on that and it will be placed in the form. This is another control which we are going to discuss. Now what you do is, the best thing is, you go to your first form which you have created. You do Control A, so it will copy all my objects which I had in my previous form. And say Control C, that is copy, and go to your new form ADODC and paste it there. So I need not again put the label, text, everything in my form. That will be easy for me to explain, isn't it? So I can adjust accordingly wherever I want. I can just move it or whatever, I can do it. Okay. You got all of them? You got all of them? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. But now I am not using the data control, so I remove the data control. Okay. So now what I should do? All other options I have already done with respect to F name, L name, DNO. But what are the changes I should do? I will tell you now. Let us first go to the text box. Okay. So F name and all I will have to change now because I told I am going to use for department. Can you tell me what are the attributes available in the department table? DNO, DName, DLocation. Correct? DNO, DName, DLocation. So what I will do? This will be DNO. Correct? Caption will be? Will there be any caption for text box? No. For label? TXT is there. Then this should be LBL DNO. And caption should be? No. Caption should be? What should be the caption? DNO. This should be? For L name it should be? DName. And LBL should be? LBL DName. And the last is DLocation. So LBL DLocation. And SSN will be not there. You have to remove it. So this is DLocation. So caption should be DLocation. I want only 3 text boxes. Delete the 4th one. So this text box, I am going to name it properly now. So TXT then TXT DName, and TXT DLocation. Correct? Now, what are the other things you have to do changes related to the data control? So I have used ADODC. I will name this as ADODC DPT because I am using for department, and I will use the caption as department details. Sorry. And now I have to set some properties related to this ADODC control. So I will right click on this object ADODC properties. Then I will go to use ODBC data source name and then select the name which I have already created, SumaDB, that is with respect to general. Then I go to authentication. Then I will type here B1 tab B1, which is username password. Then I will go to record source. Then I will select ADCMD table. Then in my stored name procedure, it will display the list of the table names. I told that I will be using department table, so I will choose department table. I will apply and then say OK. Is this clear what I did? Hello? Hello? Did you understand what I did? Now I have to bind the text boxes with respect to this ADODC. So again what I do, I will go to data source. It is not DC, it is ADODC DPT, and the data field is not FName, it is DNO. Similarly for the second one, data source will be ADODC DPT and data field will be DName. And then say third one, I will select the data source as ADODC DPT and the data field will be dlocation. Save your project. It will ask for the form. So I want to name the form as FRM ADODC DPT for my department table. I will save it. Let us now run with respect to ADODC. I will go to machine data source. I will say OSUMADB. I will say OK. I will give B1 and say OK. What happened? Did it open that form? Did it open the form? No. Why? Because the first form which I have chosen in the standard project was the first form. So what I should do? I will stop run this project. If I want to run a particular form, I will go to project. I will go to project properties. I will choose project type standard exe and I will select which form I want to use. Which is the form I am using? FRM ADODC. I'll select it and then say OK. Now if I run the project, I will open the first second form which I have created just now. Are you able to see the department details now? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Now second record, third record and so on and so forth. Whichever I have, it will show the previous one, the last one and the first one. This is how ADODC will work. Similar to what we have written for the command buttons, you have to change here in the command window only by changing DCMP as, you have to change DCMP as what?
ADODC.
ADODC DPT, because that is the name we have given for this. What is the name I have given? Name is ADODC DPT. So in that code what I should do? Whatever I have used for that I can copy here, and wherever there was DCEMP I will be using ADODC DPT. Can you try this as a homework? Hello? Yes or no? I want an answer. I will show one example which I have created and we will stop for today. I will show the demo with respect to ADODC which I already have in the project. One second. Are you able to see? What are the things you are able to see here? You are able to see one form with respect to employee, that is FRM data control, which we already discussed just now. Okay. If I want to move from one form to another form, then I have to use one command button and write which form I have to show after that. Okay, one second. Hello? Bande. Okay. We'll stop here for today and do in the next class, okay? Your attendance will be recorded.